In the rave scene, I didn't see any weird ritualistic sacrifices or anything like that, but it's definitely in the rock scene, and it's making its way over into pop music and hip-hop music as well. It seems like they're indoctrinating the youth into their Freemasonic religion, which is the only thing that I can describe it as. You see them throwing up the pyramid sign and Illuminati symbolism without even knowing, and when they're at these concerts and you see this footage, it looks as if they're in a trance. Is that what's going on with the music, Chris?
Yeah, I used to have a lighting company. We used to provide the lighting with multi-screen projections for some of the biggest dance music events, in Europe. And I'm sorry to say to you that there is very, very big occult influence and a very, very big occult activity amongst black magic cults in the dance scene in Europe, because I've seen it myself. In the jungle music scene and in the trance music scene, where the tempo is a bit slower and the music is more hypnotic, in amongst the crowds there are very weird people who have damaged psyches, and they are using these music events to recruit people. And I can specifically tell you that at the Big Green Gathering, which is a huge outdoor festival with about 15,000 people, I have seen entire covens of witches there in the crowd with children, and they've been even hosting, in tents and marquees, little ceremonies. And the hippie movement has fused with the techno scene and the jungle scene and the electronic dance scene. And I'm sorry to say that there are very, very big black magic cults out there that are recruiting from that scene. In actual fact, I went to a place called Record in the Netherlands. And there you have a whole village that was abandoned for some reason. I think it was in a flooding area near a canal. It's been taken over by a group of people who I can only describe as a rag band of hallucinogenic kind of addictive people. Some of those people have good intentions, but most of them are leading a hedonistic, ego-orientated lifestyle. They've taken over an entire village. The village has got even an old church, which there is a 24/7 non-stop kind of occultic kind of party going on there. And people travel from all over Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands to go there. So, I've seen it with my own eyes. And when people get into a trance state, especially when they take drugs, these cults go on a recruitment binge.
And the people that are...
where they're recruiting most of their people nowadays.
Well, and the people that are on ecstasy, they're in love with pretty much everybody at that point. And so their guard is down. They're not thinking... they're not thinking objectively like they usually would.
Some of the most satanic, fully possessed people, and I've met a lot of them because it's in my line of work to do that kind of thing, but some of the most obviously demonically possessed people that I've ever met have been at those types of places. They've been at music festivals, they've been at Record, they've been at the Big Green Gathering. So there's something which I can offer testimony with personal experience.
Well, and how does this recruitment process happen at these raves? I mean,
I guess when I was in the raves, I guess I was still trapped in the 5 sense reality of it because I didn't notice any of this going on. But I had callers. We had a caller a couple weeks ago bring it up and say, I remember people going around and trying to recruit and talking about how to make your LSD trip.
I remember that.
I don't recall any of this, but I'm sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to interrupt, but...
I'll give you one example. You can even find video clips of this on YouTube if you care to look for it. At the big festivals, The biggest one is the Glastonbury Festival. And Glastonbury's famous because it has the really big stars, you know, The Who, Madonna, you know, you name it. But there are several fields, and the further and further away you get from the main stage, the more crazy and weird the whole thing gets, until you end up in fields where there is no actual scheduled entertainment, but there are all of these strange groups who've brought along their own yurts, they brought along their own marquees, and they're actually putting on kind of rituals and things. And when I was there, I saw this group called the Children of Artemis. Now, Artemis is a reference to a Greek deity. And in the middle of all of this modern electronic music that was in all the surrounding fields, all of a sudden these people who'd smeared soot and black tar all over their bodies with broomsticks, with witches' broomsticks, and green eyeshadow around their eyes, and they'd all eaten something like beetroot. All their tongues were stained purple. They looked like, you know, witches, like the classical witch. These people just appeared in the middle of this festival, which was basically electronic music. And they did an entire kind of witch kind of dance. And, you know, it just sort of merged and melded into the entire thing. Everybody's dancing, there's lots of people on ecstasy, and that's how they do it. They sort of merge that with the modern culture, with the modern dance music. And
everybody's just too high to notice.
Yeah, they don't realize that the symbolism is there. They don't realize what is going on. And I've even seen Morris dancers, which are part of the pagan kind of occult scene. I mean, you get ordinary Morris dancers who are just there at village festivals with the vicar, and they're completely harmless. But, you know, then there are these really, I don't know whether you've ever seen the film The Wicker Man, but you get these Morris dancer troupes who certainly know all about the occult. They know about fertility, you know, enforced sex with, you know, the village maidens and all this kind of thing that you can read about that goes back to the Middle Ages and into the Dark Ages. And I've seen those type of dark, kind of angry, psychotic people dressed as Morris dancers turn up at these electronic music festivals. And if you look at the film Clockwork Orange, the bowler hats, the tassels tied around their knees, part of that costume is coming from the Morris dancers.